Radio Network has been brought to you by Sheets. Why the Sheets not? Get a snack after the game. Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Caring for you through every win, loss, and every moment in between. PNC, brilliantly boring since 1865. Coppers, protecting what matters, preserving the future. Ford, your neighborhood Ford store. The Pennsylvania Lottery. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Pittsburgh Brewing Company. Pittsburgh Brewing, makers of Iron City and Icy Light. Highmark Health. Highmark is proud to support Pirates everywhere. From home base to home away from home, because life. Highmark, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Operating engineers, Local 66. Join us at IUOE66.org. And by Giant Eagle, official supermarket of the Pittsburgh Pirates. You've been listening to Pirates Baseball on the Pirates Radio Network.
This Odyssey Sports broadcast has been brought to you by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
The ball game is over, and this game is over. And the ball game is over.
Now, it's time for your reaction on the Pirates Reaction Show. The Og Murphy and Perkowski Fan Reaction Show is presented by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration and is brought to you by Belmont Electric, Sir Ground, Hampton Beer Outlet, Guardian Protection, NJM Insurance, Keystone Custom Apparel, Veteran Basement Waterproofing, and Og Murphy and Perkowski Law Firm. We're all in.
And this will do it, and the ball game is over.
The Pirates Reaction Show is on Sports Radio 93.7, The Fan.
Well. 2 games in, 2 losses in the column. Tough in every sense of the word, right? How you lose it. Yesterday as well, obviously, was ugly. Today, a lot of good stuff, but anytime you're flushing away 6 shutout innings from your starting pitcher, as the Pirates did today, as they did numerous times last year, it makes it no less frustrating, particularly when you do get the offense. The Pirates did with 12 hits tonight. They out-hit the Mets 12-6. They had 17 base runners stranded, just 2 hits in the 18 at-bats with runners in scoring position. And that's kind of where it starts and ends. You look at the 4 runs that scored for the Mets. 2 were by way of the automatic runner. 1 was by way of another walk, which the Pirates have issued 14 free passes in 19 innings so far. The lion's share of those, of course, coming from the bullpens. So 0-2 is 0-2, staring down the barrel at a 3-game sweep with Carmen Mlodzinski on the mound tomorrow afternoon. So that's what it is. And an entertaining game. A lot of good stuff from the veterans that you have in this lineup. Jake Mangum, I thought, really showed out in a big way defensively and, of course, offensively as well. So we have a lot to discuss on our post-game show, which is brought to you by Og Murphy and Perkowski. We welcome you in. It's all presented as well by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Dan Zang, really glad to be with you. Our phone number is 412-928-9370. And we're going to hear from Don Kelly, Mitch Keller as well. But the first word goes to Kevin Young, who called this alongside Joe Block at Citi Field. KY, 11 innings, 4-2, Mets over the Pirates. Thought we were going to be able to pull a rabbit out of our hat tonight, especially the way that Hunter Barco was able to navigate that 10th inning, rookie thrown in the deep end in a big way, and the Pirates get that 11th inning run. But unfortunately, Barco not able to hold the fort there in the bottom half of the 11th.
Yeah, it's really tough to live that way for sure. Hunter Barco getting up and being in that situation to start off this 2026 season, that's a tough one to ask him to go out there and deliver 2 of those times. To be able to get out of that one, you just take a deep breath and hope for the best. But unfortunately, the walks, as you mentioned, that's been a big bugaboo this early in this series in the beginning of this season. And just have to address that. But a lot of good things that did take place. I mean, obviously, Mitch Keller, more importantly, coming out and doing exactly what he needed to do to start off this game, going 6 innings and giving up no runs. And obviously that was a big boost to the bullpen, even though you had the day off. It's just really nice to see, you not dig into that this early into this road trip as you start off the season. So, but all in all, you like to see the fight and the Pirates trying to find a way to scrap away. You'll end up on the right side of these type of of games at some point if you're doing it the right way. And I think, today it was one of those games this evening where unfortunately it did not work out for them, but they're definitely going about it the right way.
KY, what do you make of this Pirates offense through 2 games? And what have you seen? I know it's just 18 innings, but as you watch pitchers kind of navigate their way through up and down, and how they pitch Reynolds, how they pitched to Cruz yesterday, what do O'Hearn and Lau do, and of course Mangum, the very, very early returns. I just wanted to, from a hitter's perspective, kind of gather what you have seen, how opposing teams are going at the Bucks.
Yeah, Dan, it's really tough this early in the season, especially you're talking about today. It's a cold weather game. This is a pitcher's game. You're coming out, a lot of the teams coming out of warm weather climates, whether it be Arizona or in this case, both teams coming out of Florida. And then you have a game where, the temperature is at 40 degrees and getting colder by the minute. And so it's hard to evaluate a lot of times, but what you do like to see is guys battling, having tough at-bats. You're starting to see, as what we saw in spring training, some more 2-strike battle type at-bats, putting the ball in play. You saw a nice job of that, by a couple of guys today. And like you said, you give runners. That's how you get base runners out there. You apply some pressure. And I think that's one of the things that I'm looking at more importantly is the fact that you might only go 2 for 18 with runners in scoring position, but you had 18 guys in scoring position, or left on base at some point of the game. So, if you can continue to do that throughout the course of the first half of the season with the type of at-bats and the professional hitters that you've acquired, I think you're going to be on the upside of this more than not. Right now, it's just disappointing to get off to an 0-2 start. But trust me, when you have the type of guys in that clubhouse and they want to go about it a little differently, and they expect to. It's just unfortunate to get off to this type of start here in New York. Yeah,
there were a number of opportunities. I go back to the Marcell Ozuna at bat in the 5th inning. The bases are loaded. He has David Peterson 2-0. He pops up to first base. The Cruz pinch hit at bat in the 9th inning. I think he had a couple of fastballs in some counts that he should have been able to handle. And,
right.
There were a lot of at-bats by a lot of different people that just jump off the page at you where that big hit was just, again, elusive.
Yeah, no, it was. And I think, like you said, I really do feel like a lot of that, what you don't see or feel, I should say, is the wind, the cold weather. Both teams struggled, when it came down to getting the extra base hit and just hitting in general. But the Pirates, like you said, they doubled them up in hitting. There's no doubt about that. But the one hit that really mattered was the big ball. The only extra base hit the Mets were able to hit was the one that ended up beating us tonight. And so finding a way to stay consistent with what's working for you, getting runners out there, I think, will be the key. When you lose a tough game like this in extra innings, one of the best things you can do is be able to bounce back immediately with a day game. And so tomorrow that would be a great recipe for the Pirates to try to sneak one game and salvage it out of this series.
Pirates fall in extras, 11 innings, 4-2. The Mets grab the second game of the series, talking with Kevin Young, who called it alongside Joe Block. Final thing for you, KY. I do want to spend a little time on Keller. Did he look any different to you? Did he just come out is the same old Mitch Keller as we're accustomed to, just in how he attacked guys? I mean, it was extremely effective, maybe even more so than he typically is.
Oh, he sent a message immediately just on his appearance. He came out there with no sleeves, the cold weather game, just a good old Midwest boy. He's going out and throwing a baseball. The two-seamer was electric right out the bat. That was the one thing I mentioned to Joe after the first inning. I'm like, if that two-seamer stays like that, they're going to have a heck of a time trying to compete, because he was throwing the front door two-seamer to the lefties, and he was running in on the hands to the righties. And all pitches were working really nice. And so you can't say enough about Mitch, just the steadiness of him going out, taking the ball, and eating up the innings. But today was a pretty big sign for the Pirates in that rotation to see Mitch Keller have an outing the way he did.
Yeah, he did. Really good stuff, but unfortunately not enough. And again, the storyline, 17 left on base, 2 out of 18 with runners in scoring position. The Pirates out hit the Mets 12-6, but the Mets win it 4-2. KY, talk to you tomorrow after the Pirates hopefully win and salvage the final game of this series.
Sounds good, Dan. Have a good night.
All right, you too. There goes Kevin Young, called it alongside Joe Block. Tough one. And Kevin's brought to you by Veteran Basement Waterproofing in Bethel Park. where did this go wrong? I mean, you could pick so many different items here. For me, biggest faux pas, biggest at-bat, the most significance, I think, was the fifth inning at-bat for Marcell Ozuna. It's a scoreless game. Mitch Keller is doing his thing. Pirates had plenty of activity against David Peterson after he retired the first 7 batters of the game. They get a couple of one-out base hits in the third inning, but really ever since that third inning, they had him on the ropes. There was tons and tons of activity, whether it was, a walk here or there, or whether it was one of the 6 hits that Peterson allowed the Mets left-hander in 5 1/3 innings. To me, 2 quick outs in the 5th inning for Peterson. The lineup flips over for the 3rd time. Triolo and O'Hearn get Peterson for base hits, and then the walk of Reynolds. You really have this guy on the ropes, and he falls behind 2-0 to a veteran $12 million man in Marcell Ozuna. And with the bases loaded, 2 outs, a guy tight roping here, left-hander on the mound, you work ahead into a hitter's fastball count, and you get a very good pitch, if memory serves. And you do not drive that or do anything significant with that pitch, and you pop up to first base. That is an at-bat unbecoming of a veteran. In the 4th spot of the batting order, you're right where you want to be. 2-0, bases loaded. You can't deliver a knockout blow. And that's... And listen, I understand it's the second game, but this is a long-standing veteran knocking on the door of 300 home runs. He is coming in here, parachuting in here, getting $12 million. This is where we hone in, and it's no rookie, second-year guy where we have to be patient and give a little grace. No, he hits the ground running, and he's held to account right away, right from go. This is a significant at-bat. This is a team that is projected by FanGraphs around 84 wins. They're going to be teeter-tottering right for postseason position, whether it's 83 or 85. It could swing 1, 2, 3, 4 games. That little gap, these things that have happened the first 2 games of the season, well, they are significant and they mean something. And I'm not coming out here to treat Game 2 of 162 like a Steelers postgame, but they matter, especially if you are going to be in that very crowded middle, maybe at the top of the middle. This is the make or break stuff that, March 28th, I get it, but 2-0, bases loaded, $12 million, 10-year big league veteran with the bases loaded in a hitter's count, you've got to come through in that situation. And listen, O'Neal Cruz got plenty of fastballs in his pinch hit appearance to do some damage in the 9th inning. I mean, picking that bat out of a hat. You look at the left on base, like I said, 17. Triolo left 4. Ozuna and Mangum, they each left 5, but at least Mangum had a couple of hits. Reynolds and Gonzalez each multi-hit efforts. Gonzalez actually off to a pretty good start. So there's no issue to take with him. But here we sit, another post-game show. Mitch Keller's 6 shutout inning performance is flushed away. Has nothing to show for it. Bullpen yesterday, they walked 7. Today, they walked 2, 3, 4, 5, plus a hit batter. 14 walks, 19 innings. You're not going to win many games, and the Pirates are 0-2. 4-2, they fall to the Mets in 11 innings. So let's open up the phone lines. Plus, we've got Don Kelly's post-game remarks here. You'll hear from Mitch Keller as well, maybe a veteran hitter or 2. So we invite you to stay tuned. State your case at 412-928-9370, brought to you by Hampton Beer Outlet, where 24-pack cans of Michelob Ultra are just $19.99. It's our post-game coverage brought to you by Og Murphy Perkoski and presented by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
HD1 Pittsburgh, an Odyssey sports station, live from the Jim Shorkey Mitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. Always live and free on the Odyssey app. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan gets your day started with the latest in Pittsburgh sports with the Fan Morning Show with Doran Dickerson and Adam Crowley. Weekdays 5:40 to 10. Presented by Guardian Protection on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Pros. Just because something on the job runs out doesn't mean you have to. Order it on the Lowe's app. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get free same-day delivery on eligible orders over $25. Get the fasteners, hardware, or tools you need to keep the job moving. Order by 2 p.m. and get eligible in-stock items delivered right to your job site by 8 p.m. Members get more at Lowe's. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to availability. Restrictions and terms at lowes.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor.
Sir Grout Pittsburgh specializes in hard surface restoration. Whether it's tile or grout cleaning and sealing or natural stone restoration, Sir Grout will transform and renew floors, kitchens, foyers, mudrooms, bathroom showers, and countertops. They can restore the beauty and luster of natural stone with polishing and preventative stain sealant processes. Sir Grout trained technicians can even change the grout color to update the area's look and style. Call 412-960-6310 now to book your appointment.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
When disaster strikes your home or business, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration of Pittsburgh is ready to help. Our certified team handles everything from emergency cleanup to full reconstruction, working directly with your insurance to make the process simple. Available 24/7, we respond fast and restore your property with care, honesty, and experience you can trust. Visit panhandlecr.com. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, restoring Pittsburgh's peace of mind.
Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
There's electricity in the crowd, but when you have electrical problems, you need a family-owned business you can trust. Call Pellman Electric. Pellman Electric has been in business for over 25 years, and their qualified electricians can handle any project. Residential or commercial, outlet repairs in your house, to completing a high-rise office building, Pellman Electric will tackle any job. And if the power goes out, Pellman offers generator installation services. Visit them at pellmanelectric.com. You depend on electricity, depend on Pellman.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Now back back to more of the Og Murphy and Prokowski Reaction Show on Sports Radio 93.7, The Fan.
Swing, fly ball, deep left, very deep left. Reynolds way back on this ball, and it's out of here. Luis Robert Jr. hits a game-winning 3-run homer. Bedlam in Gotham. Their first extra base hit of the night, a 3-run homer, and the Mets win 4-2.
I thought we were Gotham, at least in a movie some many years ago. There's your play of the game, brought to you by Sir Grout, your local tile, grout, stone restoration specialist. Bottom of the 11th inning, Mets new center fielder, formerly of the Chicago White Sox, Luis Robert Jr. against Hunter Barco, coming up as a starter. All of college and basically his entire pro career as a starter. He was thrown into an extra inning game in the 10th. We'll talk about what he did, how he got out of some really sticky situations. Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Bo Bichette, all amazing stuff there from Barco in the 10th. But unfortunately, Magic couldn't carry over to the bottom of the 11th inning. Pirates scoring in each the 10th and the 11th inning. But the Mets had an answer, and in the 11th, then some with the Robert home run. The 3-run shot sends New York to a 4-2 victory over the Buccos, and they have a chance to sweep Pittsburgh tomorrow afternoon. Back on our Og Murphy and Prokowski post-game show. Dan Zang, really glad to be with you, and we're going to open up the phone lines. Plus, we have Don Kelly's post-game remarks. He just spoke, so we're going to turn that around for you here in a moment. Mitch Keller went 6 shutout. He was as good as we've seen him at any point last year, just extremely dominant. 49 of his 77 pitches for strikes. Didn't walk a batter, just allowed 3 hits over 6 shutout innings. The 16th time in the career of Mitch Keller that he has gone at least 6 innings or more and not allowed a run. 412-928-9370. You could give us a call, or you could shoot us a text, or you could drop in a comment on our live YouTube stream like Monty from Lebo did, and he talks about how he soiled his shorts, and I think that's kind of appropriate as the Pirates are now 0-2. Chuck in Uniontown, it's good. Chuck, I owed you a phone call. I'm so sorry. You left me a voice message right around the holidays, and I meant to call you back, Chuck, and life got extremely busy in January and February. So happy 2026 to you, my friend. I hope you're doing well despite an 0-2 start.
Well, first of all, thank you. And, you don't apology accepted, but not necessary. And, that's I'm your friend. You know that.
Yes.
The opening day, I was busy. I was working, and then I had to be taken care of. I had no chance to call, but that's neither here nor there. What's disturbing me in these first 2 games is not only that we lose, it's how we lost.
Yeah.
And I've said all along this season, there is no bigger issue for this team. I think this is the most important year in the 140-year history of this franchise.
Why is that?
Because this is a year, after decades of sordid failures, there were positive signs about what this team did in the offseason. Whether they did enough is debatable, but they did make moves that other people admired. And the biggest thing I thought of was they got to get off to a good start because of credibility issues. You've got to make people believe that this year is different from the past failures. And the biggest forerunner of credibility is success. And so far, they have not found it. And as I said, it's not only that you lose, it's the way you lose. And there's 2 other things that I think need to happen this season. One of them does not apply today, but we were 27-54 on the road last year. That's got to turn around drastically if we're going to be a contender. And we needed a win today to wipe out that awful feeling of the opening day ball game, and we didn't get it. But we're going to have to do an about-face on this season immediately, because if the bad start lingers, you know what happened last year, 12 and 26. We can't have that happen again.
Yeah, I mean, even you go to that Miami series, it was hard to kind of get that taste out of their mouth the way that they lost, and 2 clunkers to begin, Chuck. So I'm not sure you explained to me, though, why you feel that this is the most important season of all the 100 and the other 139 that the Pirates have played. Like, why specifically?
Because after so many failures and criticism of not obtaining players, not paying players, not going after players, 29 out of the last 33 years have been losing seasons.
Sure.
This is awful for a franchise that for more than a century had one of the best overall winning records of all the franchises in baseball. But when you lose 29 out of 33 seasons, if you do not win, if you do not turn it around quickly, people are just going to they're not going to care. And I said before that if we don't have a positive season this year, we're going to be about as relevant as snowmobiles in the state of Florida. And I think this is the year that people have to believe that this franchise is going to turn back in a positive direction, or we're not going to have any fan base at all.
Yeah, for sure. Chuck, thank you, man. Always good to talk to you. We'll chat with you tomorrow afternoon. Chuck in Uniontown after the 4-2 11-inning loss to the New York Mets. Pirates are 0-2. If you're just joining us, 6 shutout for Mitch Keller. But the story really is the Pirates stranding 17, going 2 of 18 with runners in scoring position, out hitting the Mets 12-6 and losing. Let's go to Justin in Florida, listening, I presume, on the Odyssey app. Good evening.
Hey, thank you. I just like to wish Chuck some luck doing his thing.
Yeah, good luck,
Chuck. He sounded great.
He does.
Yeah, Chuck's doing great.
Always does. Yeah, I mean, it's an upset if he's not.
Yeah. My issue with the game is it had not there's a lot of things with the game, but once we were in extra innings, Barco killed it in the 10th.
Sure did.
That was one of the most electric innings I've seen from a Pirate game maybe 10, 15 years.
Is that so?
But you don't bring him out again in the 11th.
The most electric inning that you've seen in the last 10, 15 years? Wow.
I mean,
yeah.
Do you have a better? I don't have a better one for the Pirates.
I'd pull something out of the Paul Skeens catalog, but I mean, you do you.
I mean, Paul Skeens strikes people out, but we don't score runs. We don't do anything.
Sure.
We're trying to win.
The way that he stared down the barrel of Soto, Lindor, Bichette in no particular order. After you've got an automatic runner, he hits Marcus Semien, so he kind of lighted his own inning on fire. He was equal parts. He was the extinguisher, but he was also a little bit of the arsonist to begin. And then he gave up back-to-back hits.
Yeah.
But yes, once
he set himself up for it, but he also got himself out of it.
Right.
As a rookie against that lineup is incredible.
I think he should start. So that's what I think he should do. I don't know what we're going to see, and thanks for the call, Justin. I don't know if he's necessarily earned the starting position, and it's like a true merit thing, but I would have broken camp with him as the 5th guy since they didn't sign a left-hander. Just for the fact that he's left-handed, just for the fact that the ceiling's really good, and I think they need to wedge a change of pace guy in the rotation. And now all eyes are going to be on Majinski tomorrow, but point taken about the ceiling on Barco, and the 10th inning was electric. For those that didn't see it, the automatic runner, then a hit batsman. It's first and second in that 10th inning, then a base hit by Mark Vientos hitting for Carson Benj. That's the 8th spot of the batting order. So the bases are loaded, nobody out. Torrens with a base hit scores a run in the 10th inning, so the game is tied. Lineup card flips, bases loaded, nobody out, and then fielder's choice, and fly out to right field. The one fielder's choice, mind you, was a terrific slow roller to Brandon Lau, off-balance throw, barely gets a headlong diving Vientos by maybe 3-4 inches. It's a Mets challenge that's lost. Henry Davis has to keep his toe on the plate, bring it back down, actually. He leaps to catch a high throw on that 4-2 Brandon Lau to Henry Davis play. But the comebacker to the mound, basically swinging bunt up the third base line, check swing off the bat of the left-handed hitting Juan Soto. Barco, with a super athletic play, is able to bare hand and kind of shovel underneath and get the force out at home plate. So you've got 4-2, 1-2, and then a weak fly to right field off the bat of Bo Bichette. Bases loaded, run in, ball game on the line, Mets score, they win 1-2-3 in the New York lineup card. Lindor, Soto, Bichette. For a rookie who's never pitched in a scenario as he was thwarted into basically in his college pro career, he flourished. So I want to see him in the rotation. Eventually, I think he works his way there, and now we haven't seen a ton of Hunter Barco, but it'll be Carmen Majinski's opportunity here, and I guess I'm okay with them giving him the chance to show that yet again he can flip the lineup for a second or third time. Majinski did do much better in the second half. He did work the pitch mix differently last year. He has used different types of pitches in different scenarios that might lead to better success in such a scenario, and the Pirates are really going to run this thing out. Again, he goes tomorrow, so we'll get a firsthand look, and it's a great lineup against the New York Mets to try to figure out, hey, is this guy a starter, or is he going to be a shutdown reliever, maybe even a bulk reliever? Anyway, as we're talking about Barco, I think that this is somebody that needs to be in the Pirate rotation just because, if not that he's left-handed, probably projects really well at PNC Park. But I love the change of pace that he would provide because everything in the Bucks rotation right now is basically hard and from the right side. A lot of guys profile similarly. When we're talking about a Skeens Keller series, wouldn't it be nice to wedge a Barco right in between there? So anyway, that's what I got. Thanks for the call. 412-928-9370. Glassport, Steven, you're on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan and our post-game show after an 11-inning loss to the Mets, 4-2.
How you doing, Dan?
Good. How are you, buddy?
Good, not good. I think the Pirates should have won today, being extra innings. But I was listening to the call that the Pirates should have had that winning run as the top of the 11th inning. Top of the 11th.
You mean you wanted to see them add on more?
Yeah, I wanted to see it add on more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, fair point. And that's just something that the Pirates, Steven, didn't do at all today. There are a number of at-bats, a number of scenarios when you're 2 of 18 with runners in scoring position, as they were tonight. When you strand 17, as they did tonight, you out-hit a team 12-6. You've got to win that game. They didn't. Let's go to Pete in the South Hills. Pete, Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan and the Og Murphy-Perkowski postgame show.
Hey, Dan. Thanks for taking the call. Really enjoy your commentary throughout the season. The one question that I kind of had, and it's not just you saying it, but most people in the Pirates media, they always talk about, Oneil Cruz's ability. And I think the word that we're looking for and that we've waited to see is we see the potential in him, but he's shown time and time again, and this is not me being an Oneil Cruz hater because I actually do think that he has an opportunity to, break through what we've all been waiting to see him do as a 30-30 guy. But when can we say that he may not have the ability to actually be a professional baseball player in the field and also at the plate? Because he's a gentleman that has the power, has the speed, but he doesn't have the eye at the plate. He doesn't have the ability in the outfield to actually be even an average fielder. So for me, it's not about his ability because he hasn't shown the ability to be an everyday baseball player yet.
Well, and he might not be if Jake Mangum continues to play as well he showed out today. So I guess the answer to your question as to when, I think that's going to be a number of different factors, but the biggest one probably depth and merit behind him. Is there anybody clipping at his heels ready to take his job for the first 3-4 years that he's been up here? The depth, especially the upper levels of the minor leagues as it pertains to position players, specifically outfielders, has been essentially non-existent. So they haven't had anybody that, like, I'm thinking, I'm looking across here at the studio to my broadcast partner that I worked with for, 5 years, that Jack Zarenzik. He would always ask me, and because, like you're doing now, like I'll do, like we all do on this show, we sort of lament and complain and pound our fist when things aren't going well with a particular player. He would always say, well, what are your other options? What are your options? And the answer to that question was, well, there weren't really any. And so the answer as to, well, when do you move on from Cruz, or how much longer is he going to be given, or when do you make the determination that he just ain't what you thought he was going to be? Part of that's on merit, but and depth of your organization. But I think the answer is probably going to be never, because as long as he shows the glimpses and the flashes of being a 99th percentile guy, to be able to steal bases, hit the ball out of the ballpark, to be able to cover the ground that he does, he is a StatCast monster. This is a StatCast loving, just biomechanic obsessed organization that the Pirates have chosen to run their organization this way. So science and data, research, development, analytics, like it is their mantra. They live by it. They will die by it. A lot of times the objective data is going to tell you that, you follow it, this is likely to occur. He's been an enigma. He's been the exception. He's been the outlier. But if it all comes together, it's going to be sublime. It's going to be unlike anything that the Pirates certainly can acquire or even develop. And that may even include guys like Connor Griffin, who in and of himself is a once-in-a-generation type of guy. So when you have that skill set, and despite it being just mind-numbingly bad at times, ugly, frustrating, it'll dominate these airwaves for 48 hours as it did, you just don't move on from it. Why? Because it's not like a 3-strike rule. He has more than 9 lives because of his ability. Like any other smart kid in class that's not realizing their potential, or 99th percentile athlete, they get more chances. And in this case, I think Cruz is going to get unlimited chances until he either relinquishes the job to somebody else, or he is done with his 6 years of service time and he becomes a free agent.
So if you don't mind me asking, Dan, you say 99th percentile. Aside from his physical features and attributes based on speed and his strong arm, what makes him 99% in terms of baseball statistics? Is it just the look for him?
No, speed and power. Speed, power, hard contact, exit velocity. Well, your exit velocity when it's 99 miles an hour, a hard hit, hard contact. Your percent of succeeding goes up exponentially. So,
but he bat 200 last year. If he's a guy like Kyle Schwarber who bats 210 with 40 home runs,
right,
I can understand how you say that he might be a 99th percentile type
and
guy.
They want to get the contact rate in a much better spot. And if and when it does, look out. Again, if is a bigger word than when. When used to be a bigger word than if 2 years ago. So, I'm inclined to agree with you, but your question, the premise of your call, I think, is when do you either give up or move on, or when has the determination been made? 2,500 plate appearances or 1,500 plate appearances is a really good sample size. 500 games is a really good sample size. That should basically tell you who you are, what you are. But that also existed with Jose Bautista in a Pirates uniform.
Sure, yeah, and I agree. I think the timing was definitely my first question, and even more so, it's when are we going to get to the point as, fans, and even more importantly, obviously, as the organization, that you're giving this guy 3 or 4 years to really prove himself to be that upper-level echelon-type player. But if he consistently for the next, I would say year and a half, where you're saying, okay, this guy is batting, 210, 215, which is even an improvement from last year, and a few more home runs, this guy is never going to reach his potential. And I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but it reminds me, not the same player, but it reminds me for so many years when the Pirates were really hoping Gregory Polanco was going to be a guy who was going to hit 30 home runs and bat 275. And you look at his stats with the Pirates, you look at it now, he was hitting 22 home runs and a 245, 250 average. I'd kill for that for Oneil Cruz, because of what he's done for the past couple of years.
And I think Cruz is infinitely more talented than Polanco was.
I agree, but he hasn't gotten there
100%.
in 4 years.
You run him out there and hope that this thing just clicks, because when it does, if it does, it's the only thing that the Pirates have currently, not named Connor Griffin, that can be the franchise-defining, altering player that will push them over the line. Anytime the Pirates have won anything of significance over the last 75 years, they've needed to have the MVP on their roster.
Yeah.
60, Grote, 71, essentially, even though he didn't win it, Clemente, but it was an MVP player. Stargell in the late 70s. Bonds, early 90s. McCutchen, 13, 14, 15. You have to have in Pittsburgh, because you can't augment your roster with other $20 million guys. You have to have a homegrown MVP if you're going to win in this city. That's what is required. That's the recipe, the elixir in this particular city, in this particular market. The Pirates have to have an MVP to win. And,
I agree.
And who else? I mean, say what you want about Lau, O'Hearn, Reynolds. These are nice guys to have in your lineup to surround him, but the only person, the only player that could potentially or has the toolbox to win an MVP is Oneil Cruz. He's light years away from even being a thought of us even dreaming that. But if there's one guy, he's the most important guy on this roster still. Until Connor Griffin gets here, he remains the most important guy on this roster. Griffin gets here, maybe things change, and you can't expect him to be an MVP kind of guy right out of the chute. But the other thing, there's never been somebody pushing or vying for the position that Oneil Cruz is currently in that could potentially do it pound for pound better than he's currently doing it since he's been a member of the Pirates. Well, Jake Mangum might be that guy. And I'm not suggesting that Mangum is an MVP guy, but if Cruz continues to falter and play at basically a replacement level, 1 win, maybe 2 wins, Mangum could probably give that to you in a more consistent fashion and show out better. And that's the first time that Oneil Cruz has ever had that scenario. And who knows what Password Garcia does in AAA. So there's maybe 2 guys there. And if that's not a motivator, then maybe he really has told on himself for those that are still in his corner. Let's go to Luke in Indiana after the 4-2 11-inning loss to the New York Mets. You're on the postgame show. What's up, Luke?
Hey, man. How are you? So I got 3 things. I think Magnum had a good game. He played well. But I agree with Chuck. It's you see the first 2 games of the season, it just looks like typical Pirates. Here we go again.
Sure.
You lost a lot of the fan base already. A lot of people already are at their limit.
Yeah, there's no benefit of the doubt that's been earned here, and not only through the first 2 games, but just in general. Like, you're going to have to take non-believers and make them believers. And even those non-believers, when they should become believers, they're probably still going to be non-believers. And it's going to take a lot to make them consider believing again. I think the organization knows that. They're aware, I hope. If not, then it's just a warped sense of their brutal reality. But I think that they're aware. I do. They're not to be given the benefit of the doubt here. I'm with you in that camp. That has to be earned over time, and 5, 10, 15 game winning streaks, winning 66% of your games in one particular month. That's not going to do it. You have to show out consistently for multiple months and put together a good season before you can get people on board with not only one particular year, but to go in with 2 feet again in wearing the Pirates P on top of their head.
Yep, understood. And that's the third thing I was going to say real quick is the caller right after Chuck. He said about after that 10th inning, he got by the skin of his teeth. I do not think he should have went back in there for the 11th.
Well, the answer is, and I'll ask you, what are your other options? Do you go Jose Urquidy? Do you go Isaac Mattson? Did Mattson instill any confidence in you yesterday in his 2/3 of an inning where he walked 2, gave up 3 hits, allowed 2 runs? You're going to Jose Urquidy.
Yeah, I know, and that's I would have. That's it. I'm not a coach. I don't know. I just think that.
I guess it wasn't yesterday. It was Thursday, I suppose. That is a factor. But your starter went 2/3 of an inning on Thursday. So I'm not sure how barren the bullpen was, even with the off day yesterday. All right, let's hear what Don Kelly has to say about that. Plus, we'll continue taking your phone calls on our postgame show after this 4-2 loss. Mets beat the Pirates despite the Buccos out hitting New York 12-6. Bucks strand 17 base runners, and they waste a 6-inning performance from Mitch Keller. He did not allow a run. He permitted just 3 hits, didn't walk anyone. Just a fantastic outing. A pro's pro, Mitch Keller. He gave the Bucks all that and then some, 77 pitches as well. Really good stuff, but Bucks unable to cash in critical situations and get the big hit. They fall 4-2 in 11 innings. Do stay with us. Post-game coverage from Og Murphy and Perkoski. Dan Zangerly with you Saturday night on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Y108 presents Odyssey the Night Before, powered by Bowser Chevrolet, starring Jason Aldean.
Hey, what's up, Pittsburgh? I'm Jason Aldean.
With special guests John Morgan and Shane Prophet. Wednesday, April 22nd, inside the Event Center at Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh.
Say we have a little bit of fun. Y'all ready?
You can't buy a ticket to this show. You can only win your way in. Full details at y108.com. Presented by Miller Lite and brought to you by your local AAA travel office, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, Ross Park Mall, and Broken Bow Records.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
It's time to play. Make your downtime fun time on the BetParx online casino and sportsbook app. Right now, new casino users get 250 bonus spins on the hot online slot game Gold Trio Leprechaun's Luck, plus up to $1,000 bonus back in their first 24 hours. Play real casino games for real money and bet on all your favorite sports right on your phone. The BetParx online casino and sportsbook app, where there's always another way to win. Must be 21 and in Pennsylvania. New users only. BetParx.com has T's and C's. Casino bonus must be wagered. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLE.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app by 4/18 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Now, back to the Og Murphy and Perkowski Reaction Show on Sports Radio 93.7, The Fan.
Line drive over short. That's down for a base hit. Reynolds turns third. He'll come in to score. Roberts throws into second, and Nick Gonzalez comes through with a go-ahead RBI single in the 10th, and the Pirates lead 1-0.
Yeah, we were scoreless through 9 innings, and it wasn't until the top of the 10th inning that the Pirates jumped into the lead for the first time in this game, scoring the first run for either team, but they couldn't get those insurance runs, not only in the 10th. Mets answered with a single tally in the bottom half of the inning, but the 11th, after Brian Reynolds' swinging bunt infield hit brought home Jake Mangum, Pirates taking a 2-1 lead, but the ever-elusive insurance runs brought to you by NJM Insurance. NJM, no jingles, no mascots, just great insurance. That was costly. The big hit eluding the Pirates, costly. Plenty of opportunities, 18 at-bats. With runners in scoring position, just 2 hits. 17 base runners stranded. Mets get the big hit. 3-run home run, bottom of the 11th inning. Luis Robert Jr. sends New York home a winner, 4-2 in 11. Thanks for joining us. Post-game coverage brought to you by Og Murphy and Perkowski and Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I'm Dan Zang. Really glad to be with you at 412-928-9370 on a Saturday night. Pirates falling to 0-2. Looking at a sweep tomorrow. Carmen Majinski will have to stop that. So we hope you could join us for our pregame coverage here on The Fan. Let's continue taking your phone calls. Don Kelly's postgame remarks coming up in just a moment. 412-928-9370. That's where we find Steve in the state of California, or like California, PA, home of the Vulcans.
Hey, Dan. Thanks for taking my call. I'm in Los Angeles.
Nice.
Hey, quick question. So your comment about O'Neal Cruz and being an MVP, like, what am I missing here? Because
no, the skill set, like who has the potential to if it all came together, right? And this is a huge if, and as we sit here today, basically a pipe dream. But when we're talking about, the basic tools and the skill sets, the superstars, the 1% of the 1%, they have amazing ability. When I say 99th percentile athlete, I'm talking about the tools, where they rank, the measurables. They usually are hand in glove, and he's the only guy on this roster that could project to be an MVP type of talent and put a monster season together. Now, getting there from here, I'm obviously omitting a whole lot of space. Right now, probably as vast as the Grand Canyon.
No, I totally understand that, because what I'm seeing, it's just a repeat of every year with him. Like,
sure.
They had him in shortstop. He obviously didn't make it. They put him in the outfield. Yeah, give him.
You want to see incremental progress. You want to see him better than last year. You don't want to see him taking 3 steps in on a line drive that, while the ones hit right at you, they're hard. This one wasn't quite that. Still very difficult. There's a wind factor. The ball that, goes over his head and 3-run score. When he's running in the wrong direction, yeah, you have a gripe there. You have a grievance to file. And the fact that was occurring 2 years ago and is still occurring 2 years later, you want to see progress. He looks as if he was just dropped in there like they did in 2024. And that, I think, is at least my frustration. Don't want to speak for you, Steve, but I'm assuming as much.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Dan. I totally agree with that concept, but, it's like, what are we getting from the plate? Like, they put him in today, and he strikes out. It's like the same thing with him.
He's taking fastballs and he's getting good pitches to hit. It's a scoreless game. One swing, the situationally aware, there are moments where he just doesn't appear to be.
Yeah. Hey, Dan, I appreciate you taking my call. I totally agree with you. I think we need to move on from this guy. I mean, I get it. They got to give him a chance.
And that's where I disagree. And I know that he's had plenty of chances, but he gets more chances than anybody else. I agree.
Exactly.
I agree with that. It's the athlete that breaks the rule. It's the smart kid that isn't in the classroom achieving he gets, because of talent alone in life, in any area, it presents you more lives, right? More chances.
Yeah.
And I disagree. You don't. I'm not looking to move on unless my hand is forced. And
but how long do we go on with him, Dan?
Until either you have another option, or basically you have another option. And is Jake Mangum going to push him out of his position? Is Justinson Garcia going to push him out of his position? Then maybe so, but asking the same question 3 years ago. What are your other options? Who were you going to play? Were you going to play Ben Gamble over him? Of course not. No.
All due respect, Dan, Mangum made 2 catches he couldn't make yesterday.
100%. That's why I bring Mangum up. Like, okay, this is maybe the first time since Cruz has been in the big leagues that somebody has been clipping at his heels. That there's actual merit in the upper levels of the organization, whether it's on the 26-man roster or in AAA. Before, there was literally nothing on the big league roster, or there was nothing from a position player standpoint, the upper levels of the minor leagues. But now that's changed. Hopefully, and I can't help but think of that great Bobby Knight press conference, that diatribe that he went on about ass meeting bench.
Yes.
Have you ever heard that? It's a classic.
Absolutely.
It's a classic rant about how, ass sends signal to brain starts playing better, and the whole bit, right? I just, that's what I was thinking over these last 24 hours as I was listening to the station after the postgame show on Thursday, after everything unfolded. Maybe that's what gets to him, that, okay, I don't have infinite lives anymore. I actually could get Wally pipped here, despite being the golden boy and having far more natural athletic ability than perhaps anybody in baseball. Like, that's how crazy talented he is.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I applaud Don Kelly for benching him today, where Derek Shelton would not have.
So, and I don't think that. So, I'm going to clarify that. I'm going to clarify that. That's because left-handers are on the mound, and Donnie said it as much today.
Yeah, I mean, true, but they, but the thing is, like, even in years past, Derek Shelton would have still played him. Like, it's also a moment where O'Neill Cruz can sit on the bench and say, "Hey, Mangum's in center field. Why is he in center field?" I agree with Don Kelly for benching him. Yeah, it was the left-hander on the field. But the thing is, he doesn't hit left or right. He struck out against a right-hander today.
Of course. I mean, Nolan McLean is on the mound tomorrow for the Mets. He's a right-hander, young guy, Oklahoma State, that former two-way player. He was pitching in the WBC, right, in the decisive game. 5-1 with a 2.06 last year.
Yeah.
If I'm going to guess, Cruz is out there. But at least Mangum is, like, right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he does play Mangum, right? You got to win a game. You can't get swept to start the year. Mangum was 2 for 5 today. Scores a run, covering some ground. I don't know. At least there's now a hard decision here, and I spent a lot of time at West Virginia broadcasting and doing a lot of radio shows with Bob Huggins, and he would just simply say, and I love the line, I don't determine playing time. I don't determine minutes. I don't determine playing time at all.
Yeah.
You determine your playing time. Well, O'Neal Cruz, I would hope, will determine his own playing time. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
You got it. 412-928-9370. Steve in Los Angeles, California, amongst all the Dodger fans. What an existence that is. Living in L.A., that big market club, everybody's got him rubber stamped a three-peat. And here he is on the Odyssey app. I love it. Still true to his buckos. Mike in Newcastle.
So, Dan, we're doing this another year.
This is actually a taped show from July 22nd, 2024.
Exactly, because it feels definitely how all the games felt last year. It's crazy. Keller pitches a gem, but they can't get him a run. It's unfortunate, and I know I feel bad. I know you just want to field another anti-O'Neal Cruz call, but I'm going to switch it up on you. I'm going to blame this game on the guy they actually sat down and paid money for, Marcell Ozuna,
100%.
because he left a small, to quote Bob Uecker, he left a small village on the base paths. He's a guy that actually we beat management down and we beat ownership down for not spending money. They made a good effort to bring him in to be the thumper and drive and run, and he didn't do that, and he's not doing that so far, and that's a big reason why we're 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, bases loaded, and I basically led the show with this. I mean, when you strand, for those just kind of tuning in, Pirates fall to the Mets 4-2 in 11 innings. They strand 17 on base. They go 2 of 18 to the Pirates with runners in scoring position, out hitting the Mets 12-6. And Ozuna, he's the $12 million man. They bring him in on the one-year deal. They basically severed ties with a fringe Hall of Famer who, by the way, is hitting 400 in the early going, went 1 for 3 today with an RBI.
Yeah, the game-winning hit.
Yeah, so, and objectively, I'll say the right move. I mean, if you're going to ask me who would you rather have, McCutchen or Ozuna, assuming that Ozuna returns to what he did a couple of years ago, maybe even last year, you like Ozuna. But he's got to come in here, be turnkey production. He hits the ground running. That's what you paid for. He needs to produce immediately. And it's okay to, start slowly, but it's another thing to have the bases loaded in the 5th inning, to be ahead 2-0 and have the pitcher on the ropes in a hitter's count and not deliver. He is paid to do that. That is his job. So he gets no pass.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, we actually made a good effort to try to bring him in to fix this, and he didn't do it. And it's not like he's O'Neal Cruz. He's a veteran. This is, but it's like what you said. We need more guys in the lineup, and that's why you tried to stick O'Neal Cruz out, that have an electric bat that can change the game, because you see how we can't sing our way to victory. This is what happens when all you have is a bunch of guys that can hit singles. You need a guy with an electric bat that can really drive the ball and make runs.
All right, Mike, thank you much. Appreciate it. 412-928-9370. We'll sneak in perhaps one more call. Let's first, though, go to Don Kelly, his postgame remarks after the Bucks fall in 11, 4-2 to the Mets, and they're staring at a 3-game sweep tomorrow, if not for our Majinski magic to pull this thing off. Here's Donnie.
DK, can you take us through the extras there, specifically just what Barco was doing, the ups and downs he faced at the end?
Yeah, a lot of ups and downs there, and to get bases loaded and find a way, in a tie game with Lindor, Soto, and then to get Bichette. He did a good job getting that to the 11th, and Robert just got him there at the end.
What do you think he can learn from a moment like that, though, and what he was able to do on the mound?
A lot. It's a tough spot on the road, extra innings coming in, and, I think that he'll learn a lot. You saw he's a fierce competitor out there, doesn't back down, found a way to push it to the 11th inning, and that's what we love about him is his ability to compete on the mound. He's got good stuff, and, I think that just being in the zone a little bit more will be, something he'll learn from.
Donnie, what can you say about the day that Mangum had?
Yeah.
In the field and at the plate.
Great. That's why we brought him in, just the spark plug, the way that he goes about it, finding a way to get things done. And he, both offensively and defensively, made some good plays.
2 for 18 with runners in scoring position. How tough was that?
Yeah, that's tough. We'll be better there. As we go through, we have to be, and finding a way to push those runs across. And we showed really good offensively in the opener, and then today with runners in scoring position kind of evaded us. But we're going to be better at it.
How bad was the weather? I mean, was that because of the weather?
We're not going to have no excuses. It's going to be cold in Pittsburgh at times too. We got to find a way to overcome that, and both teams are out there playing in that weather, and I think that it's just something that you got to go out and play ball and overcome.
With all his pair hits in both games so far, what has he shown you?
A lot. He's taken some good swings, he drove the ball the other way. Big hit there to drive in the go-ahead run in extras, and has played well at third base too.
With the runners left on, is there anything that you saw your team doing with that? Was there something that wasn't going your way, or what did you see with the runners left on?
Yeah, sometimes we talked about last year, something that the first game we did better swinging the bats. Today, not as much with guys on base, and something that we have to be better at. I think it's something that sometimes you start to press a little bit, and that we'll be better at as we go through the year.
What you like about Mitch?
Oh, it's great. I thought he threw all of his pitches for strikes, got ahead in the count, and was able to change speeds on them and keep them off balance.
What was that discussion like when he was trying to go out and didn't have more time to warm up? Did you get more clarification on what happened there?
Yeah, it was just, it was, the umpire was right there, and it was moot. Mitch did a good job of overcoming it.
Free passes were a bit of a theme again with the bullpen late. What'd you see out of the bullpen with the 5 walks and hit batter?
Yeah, we have to throw strikes. It's something they know, and we were really good at it last year, and we're going to be really good at it this year. Early on, first 2 games, not so much. Full confidence in our guys to dominate that.
Your catcher makes the ABS call?
Yes.
Like 100% of the time?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of the time. I mean, there may be a pitcher every once in a while, but it's going to be catcher most of the time.
Don Kelly after the Pirates, 11-inning 4-2 loss. All right, that'll just about do it for us. Tomorrow, we're on the air. What time is that going to be? At 1:30, I believe. Charlie Borges, looking so gorgeous behind the glass. 1 o'clock, 1:10, 1 p.m.
Network is at 1:15.
Okay, so they'll be on it. So I'll be on, what, 12 o'clock-ish, I think? Something like that.
12 even. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
High noon in the big city, Pittsburgh, PA. Former fan host would always say. So we invite you to join us then. And, Bucks fall 4-2. Hunter Barco suffers the loss, unable to protect the lead. Brought to you by Guardian Protection, your hometown security company. Carmen Majinski gets the ball for Pittsburgh. He was 5-8 last year with a .355 earned run average. Already told you that Nolan McLean is going. Young right-hander, throws really hard for the Mets. 5-1. He pitched for WBC. 206 earned run average last year. So that's what the Mets have up their sleeve against Majinski. Pirates bullpen fairly decimated. They haven't thrown strikes the first 2 games of the series. 19 innings, 14 walks, most of those coming from the Pirates bullpen. So that's your look ahead to tomorrow, brought to you by Pello Windows and Doors. Thanks to Kevin Young for stopping by the program. He called the game alongside Joe Block. And for the aforementioned Charlie Borges, Dan Zangreli signing off our postgame show brought to you by Og Murphy and Perkoski, presented by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
HD1 Pittsburgh, an Odyssey sports station, live from the Jim Shorkey Mitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. Always live and free on the Odyssey app.